Hello everyone, today we are breaking down the official trailer for The Witcher Season 2 that was released earlier today. But before that, like the video, it helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we hear is Nivellen talking to Geralt about the wars to come, how the south is attacking the north. This refers to Nilfgaard invading the northern kingdoms, which we saw in Season 1. We will be seeing more of this in Season 2. Nivellen also mentions how monsters are roaming when they should be hibernating, and suggests this could be the end of days. Geralt thinks this is nothing more than horseshit. Nivellen is hinting at the prophecy Ithne foretold. This is a very old elven prophecy about the end of the world. The prophecy goes, "Verily, I say unto you, the era of the sword and axe is nigh. The era of the wolf's blizzard, the time of the white chill and the white light is nigh. The time of madness and the time of contempt, the time of end. The world will die amidst frost and will be reborn with a new sun. It will be reborn of the elder blood." Now, why this may be alarming to some, because we know somebody of the elder blood, Ciri, so there may be some truth to Nivellen's horseshit. In the opening shot, we see Geralt walking through a lake where a winged beast appears. It looks to have arms and legs and a somewhat human body. I'm going to guess and say it is a harpy. They tend to live in high cliffs or rocky ravines. The setting they are in kind of matches that. This is new to the story, this never happens in the books. From other scenes in the trailer, I know Ciri is there with him during this fight. I assume this takes place after they leave Kaer Morhen, so after Ciri has been training with the Witchers all winter long. It also could be when they are hunting a Leshen, which pops up later in the trailer. But it does seem to be different terrain, so maybe not. We then see Geralt has taken a potion in this shot. I believe this is from the same scene with the harpy. Potions just enhance a Witcher's abilities such as speed and strength, so whatever creature this is, it is not to be trifled with. We then have a shot going over a battlefield where thousands lie dead. If you remember at the end of Season 1, King FOLTEST came to the aid of the sorceresses at Sodden Hill. Yennefer took out a great many of them when she unleashed fire upon them. This is from the succeeding battle between Foltest and Nilfgaard. We then see Ciri and Geralt heading towards Nivellen's manor. In the books, Geralt is alone when he meets Nivellen. Ciri has not even been born yet. What is also different is that Geralt and Nivellen seem to know each other and are good friends. In the books, this is their first meeting. We then see the Bruxa, which is the monster Geralt will be fighting at Nivellen's manor, which does match the books. Nivellen gets lonely. He looks like a giant bear, so he tends to have ladies living with him. The Bruxa, whose name is Verena, is living with Nivellen. In the books, he does not know she is a Bruxa, he thinks she's just a dryad, like what we saw in Season 1. Bruxas are powerful types of vampires. They can take on the appearance of dark-haired young women, and their natural appearance is a large black bat with sharp fangs and claws. We see that she is using a shriek attack on Geralt, which should be familiar to those who have played the games. Geralt is able to block it though with Coen. Coen is a sign that Witchers can cast. Signs are simple spells Witchers can cast with one hand that can help with combat. Coen happens to be a defensive spell that casts a protective shield around them. In the next shot, we see the ruins of Cintra. Once again, this place may look familiar because this is where Ciri unleashed her power to escape from Cahir in Episode 1. We see the crevice she created on the earth. There are two walking towards it. I'm honestly not sure who these people are. It could be Reince, who is tasked with finding Ciri after the slaughter of Cintra. We do see him later on in the trailer. Reince is a powerful sorcerer. He attended Ban Ard, which is the Aretuza for boys, but he was expelled for petty theft. He is secretly working for a sorcerer we met in Season 1, and that is all I will say about that to avoid spoilers. In the next shot, we see the Tree of the Fallen. It is the memorial for all the fallen witchers of the School of the Wolf. When one dies, their medallion gets placed on the tree. We see this tree in the animated prequel Nightmare of the Wolf centered around Vesemir. The tree seems to be cracking. This is from the Leshens seen later in the trailer. Leshens are very powerful creatures. They can control animals in their territory, which we saw in the prequel, Nightmare of the Wolf. This is new to the story as well. Geralt and the other Witchers at Kaer Morhen never get attacked by Leshen, and they never go hunt one. Why this Leshen is attacking Kaer Morhen is quite strange. It may be referencing the prequel. There is a creature Vesemir lets get away known as Kitsu, who is an elf who was mutated. Kitsu blamed Vesemir for her base being destroyed and the child she was keeping there killed. Vesemir did not do this, but this is what Kitsu was told. Kitsu still may be seeking revenge and is controlling the Leshen as she did in the prequel to attack Kaer Morhen. In my mind, this is the only thing that makes sense, but I do not know if they would make it necessary for people to have watched the prequel, because I would assume a lot of people didn't because it was animated. In the next shot, we see that Yennefer and Fringilla have been captured by elves after the Battle of Sodden Hill. They are led by Filavandrel, who we saw in Season 1. The band of elves will be known as the Skoya Tel. These are non-humans, mostly elves, attacking the northern kingdoms. In the books, it is never mentioned what Yennefer does after the Battle of Sodden Hill, so we get to see more of her story and what she is up to. Then we see someone snap their fingers and fire appears. Later on in the trailer, we see Rhines with fire. I would say this is him. We then see Yennefer with her mentor Tissaia de Vries. This must be after her capture from the elves. She either escaped or made some sort of deal. We head back to Melon's Manor, where Geralt is fighting the Bruxa. We see that he has potioned up because a Bruxa is quite a foe. In the games, Bruxas never flew, so that is slightly different. But the description is pretty dead on, a giant bat. Obviously, Geralt is using his silver sword here, since most monsters, such as a Bruxa, are vulnerable to it. We then see Ciri at Kaer Morhen in the main hall talking about how Cintra was her home, and she says it is her fight. Then we see Geralt handing her a training sword. Ciri will be training with the Witchers this season, at least for the first part of it. She will learn swordplay, pirouettes, which is a word they love in the books, potions, monsters, and simple spells Witchers use during combat known as signs. We then see a group of people heading towards ruins. I believe this is the Brotherhood of Sorcerers, which is a organization of mages. Depending on how fast they are going through the source material, this could be on Thanedd Island, which if that is the case, they are moving pretty quickly through the story, because that whole ordeal is at the end of the 4th book. The 3rd book begins with Ciri at Kaer Morhen, so that would be 2 books down. We then see Ciri training at Kaer Morhen. Lambert is on her left and Coen is on her right. These two are also Witchers, and they also help train Ciri in the art of witchering. From the Nightmare of the Wolf prequel, we know Geralt and these two grew up together and trained together. At least Lambert did. Coen is still kind of a mystery. In the books, he is from the School of the Griffin, just another Witcher school, but in Nightmare of the Wolf, they made it sound like there was only one Witcher school, which was Kaer Morhen, the School of the Wolf. So I'm not sure where he is from at this point, we just have to wait and see. We then see Fringilla and Yennefer still captured by elves, and Yennefer is trying to make Fringilla see that she is a pawn in Nilfgaard's plans, which, yeah, kind of. We then see another shot of Cintra. I thought this could be maybe somewhere in the Nilfgaard Empire, but it looks just like Cintra. It has the tower in the middle, and it matches the picture from Season 1 perfectly. Cintra will be used as a Nilfgaard stronghold so they can be closer to where the action is. We then see Geralt and Rhines face off. You can see that Rhines has a scar on his face, courtesy of Yennefer, which we should see sometime in the season, unless they are changing things up again. In the books, Rhines is interrogating Jaskier for information on Ciri and Geralt's whereabouts, when Yennefer saves the bard with a spell that causes the scar on Rhines' face. But Yennefer may not be a part of this, since she is being held by the Skoya Tel. We then see Geralt surrounded by a group of men. These men were hired by Rhines to deal with Geralt. Unfortunately for them, Rhines never said Geralt was a Witcher, or they would have never accepted the contract. During the fight, we see Geralt use the sign Coen, again, which is a protective shield, and it breaks the attacker's pitchfork. We then return to Kaer Morhen, where Geralt is in the lab where they used to administer the mutagens to create Witchers. He is fighting the Leshen. Leshens have attacks that use tree roots to attack their opponents, which is what we are seeing here. We then return to Geralt fighting the assassins hired by Rhines, and he is taking care of them rather easily. To note, Geralt in the books takes a potion before this fight, since he knew something was going down, so he is even more ferocious in this. We then see ladies in a city. If I had to guess, Triss is on the left, just because she's wearing green, and the right maybe is Ciri. This could be right before Geralt and Triss drop Ciri off at school. We then see another new character this season, Francesca. She is an elvish sorceress and is considered to be the most beautiful woman in the world. In the books, she is not introduced until the 4th book, and that is on Thanedd Island. So it seems like they're going to go into her character a little bit more and show what she was doing before that. I think what the show wants to show more of is the hatred humans have for elves and others, and they want to make their side more sympathetic. Next, we see Yennefer and Fringilla once again. From the previous teaser, we know that Nilfgaard captured Yennefer first, and then they were captured by the elves. So this is before that. We then see Ciri running from something. This looks like the same landscape we saw earlier in the trailer where Geralt and the flying creature, possibly a harpy, were facing off. Ciri is possibly running from said creature. She does not have a sword, and running is her best option at this point. We then see Tissaia de Vries at the aftermath of the Battle of Sodden Hill. She's looking for Yennefer but cannot find her, and that is because Nilfgaard has already captured her. We then see Geralt and a Nilfgaard soldier face off. The Nilfgaard armor looks much better than last season. I'm quite happy about that. In the background, we see Yennefer holding a stick. Once again, this is not in the books. I'm not sure what the context is to this. I know that Istred, another sorcerer who works for Nilfgaard, will be in this season. He and Yennefer have a romantic relationship like Geralt. I have heard a rumor the Shard of Ice story will be in this season, which is a short story of Geralt and Istred fighting for Yennefer, even though they don't fight in the end. This could be that. It could explain why there are Nilfgaard soldiers there and why Yennefer is there. It's not exactly like the short story in the book, but similar enough. We then see all the Witchers potioned up ready to fight the Leshen we saw earlier in the trailer. We got Coen on the left, Vesemir in the middle, and Lambert on the right. The other two are unknowns. I have no idea who they are. Eskel, another Witcher from Kaer Morhen, is missing from the group. Perhaps he is with Geralt. I have also seen some theories that he was possessed by the Leshen and is now attacking his fellow Witchers, which is possible, but there is no evidence of a Leshen having this ability. Unless, like I said, Kitsu is involved, which, who knows. If you look closely, we see Jaskier is amongst the people at Kaer Morhen. They tried hiding him, but not from me. This is new as well. Jaskier was never at Kaer Morhen in the books. It does make sense he would go there after he was attacked by Rhines. That is literally the safest place he can be. Another reason why he's probably there is that they want to expand his role, which I'm happy about. I think he's the most accurate character to what he's supposed to act like and look like from the books. We then get our first glimpse of Istred doing some kind of spell in a library. Maybe someone is trying to attack him. We then see Francesca again, and she is with Fringilla and Yennefer, so she is part of the Scoil Tel, which makes sense. She is an elf. Her and Filavandrel are kind of the leaders of the elves. The three are watching a house float and turn. I'm guessing some magic is being used here. No idea what this is, to be honest. If you have any ideas, leave it down in the comments below. We then see Ciri and Yennefer together. Triss pretty much recommends Yennefer to Geralt to show Ciri how to control her powers. Yennefer is a very powerful sorceress, more capable than Triss. We then see Cahir and Fringilla. Cahir rocking the new armor, looks awesome. Though it looks slightly too big, like it's thick in the belly. We then see another character from Season 1 return, Stregobor. It looks like he could be torturing somebody, setting them ablaze. We do see a face, but it's hard to say. Once again, he was kind of a one-off character in the books, and it looks like they are bringing him back. We then see Ciri and Triss. I like Triss's new look. I think it's much closer to what people wanted. This scene is where Triss looks into Ciri's mind to understand what is happening to her. The Witchers tell Triss that Ciri has had 3 incidents since arriving at Kaer Morhen where she would go into a trance-like state, speak different languages, and prophesize deaths. When Triss enters her mind, she feels a strong presence and returns back to Sodden Hill and hallucinates, and then passes out. When she awakes, she tells Geralt Ciri is too powerful for her, and tells him they will need Yennefer's help. We then see another new character talking to Geralt, Mother Nenneca. She taught Geralt as a youth when he attended temple, and now she is going to teach Ciri. In a way, she is like a mother figure to Geralt. We then return back to Kaer Morhen. It seems that the Leshen is still attacking the Witchers, throwing shards of wood at them. We also see Coen again. We then see that Stregobor is torturing Yennefer. So perhaps the thing that was on fire earlier was Yennefer, and it was some kind of spell to torture her and burn her. She is clearly in pain, and he seems to be enjoying himself quite a bit. Maybe they are torturing her because they want to make sure she's not working for Nilfgaard, or maybe Stregobor is working for Nilfgaard and they want to find out if she knows where Ciri is. Like I said, Stregobor doesn't really appear in the books after the first chapter. They seem to be changing a lot of things and building certain characters up. We then see Geralt is fighting the Leshen head on now. He's slashing all the roots that are attacking, and Ciri is dodging quite well. Looks like the training is paying off. We then return to Kaer Morhen one last time and see Geralt using Coen and charging the memorial tree. I'm going to guess and say the Leshen took control of the tree to use it to attack the Witchers. The last shot we see is of Jaskier in jail for whatever reason. Once again, different from the books. Who knows what got him thrown in there, but Geralt and Yennefer seem to need his help. I have no idea when this is because he is at Kaer Morhen, so this would have to happen somewhat early in the season, unless they return to Kaer Morhen for whatever reason, but I really don't know why they would. Whatever it is, most likely they have some kind of scheme, and they need Jaskier's acting ability or his influence for the plan. So from what I got from the trailer is that they are deviating away from the source material a little bit. They're expanding certain characters and changing events to fit the story they want to tell. They are also adding things that will give more context to certain characters and events. I do not think this is a bad thing. The games, for instance, were adaptations as well. They told different stories with the same characters. The TV show is somewhat doing the same. So what do you guys think of the trailer? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and like the video. Also check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.